Hey guys, what movie are we reviewing today? It's Belfast? Oh, okay, then we gotta change all this. Much better. What's going on, everyone? James here with another real review, and today I'm so excited to finally talk about a film I've been anticipating all year long, Kenneth Branagh's Belfast. A huge thank you to Focus Features for giving me the chance to watch this early in theaters for a review, and you can watch it in theaters November 12th, yes, this weekend. An Oscar, a frontrunner, I guess you can say, is hitting theaters because there's a lot to talk about in this film, guys, and luckily it's a lot of good things. Like I said, it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, and what a bounce back from Artemis Fowl, and the movie's starring Jude, Jamie Dornan, Caitriona, Balfe, Judi, Dench, and Ciaran, Hinds. Now, the movie itself is very personal. You can tell it's an intimate tale that maybe Kenneth Branagh is pulling from his childhood in a way, but the synopsis, the summary is super simple. The premise is not hard to understand, so let's talk about it. It's 1969 in Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland, and we're following Buddy and his family as they struggle with growing civil unrest in their hometown, financial burdens, and the reality that maybe, just maybe, Belfast isn't home forever, after all. Not me getting emotional after reading the summary, but y'all, this movie has a lot to love. Now, before I dive into what I liked and what I didn't like, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where we break down movies like this all the time, so you're not going to want to miss any reviews. Go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on that bell, and hit the thumbs up button, y'all, because we got a busy week coming up. King Richard, we got Cowboy Bebop on Netflix, we got Ghostbusters Afterlife. Mamma mia, I'm out of breath, but hey, it's going to be so much fun. And hey, get loud down below in the comments and let me know if you think Belfast might win Best Picture at this year's Oscars. Alrighty, y'all, so let's get into what I loved about this film. And honestly, it's the fact that it's a coming-of-age movie, because these movies are my jam, and Belfast was right up my alley. The script and the premise for this movie was just excellent, honestly, and Kenneth Branagh did pen the script as well, but seeing Belfast through Buddy's eyes just made everything feel a little bit more real and intimate for me. I said it before I even sat down on my seat, Kenneth Branagh really does have a vision as a director that I enjoy for the most part. Does he always hit home runs? No, but I do love what he can bring to the table in terms of creativity and just adding a nice personal touch on things, and he does that here in Belfast. All of the emotion I felt he wanted to convey really did bleed through the screen, and I even think the subplot with the riots between the Catholics and the Protestants at the time was yet another layer to add to the film that really showcases that slice of life in Northern Ireland at the time. And I absolutely loved how charming this movie was, due in large part to Jude Hill's performance as Buddy. It's always tough to judge a child actor's performance, guys, but this is the second year in a row where a child actor has stolen the show. You got last year with Alan S. Kim in Minari, and now this year, Jude Hill as Buddy in Belfast. I'm gonna need both of them on the red carpet at the Academy Awards to do something fun, because they are just so great together, and they're actually adorable. And it's funny because, again, it is hard to really critique a child actor, but it never felt like Buddy was reading the script, or I should say Jude Hill was reading the script. Instead, he really embodied who Buddy was. And whenever the movie gives us extreme close-ups of Buddy, whether it be him in awe at the local cinema or when he's in the middle of a rioting crowd, I do think Jude Hill conveys all of his emotion near perfectly. I also love how Jude Hill was able to just have these conversations with his grandparents, played by Judi Dench and Ciaran Hinds. If anything, the conversations between Buddy and Pop were my favorite. I felt like I was in those conversations with them, and it just was so heartwarming, you guys. But outside of Jude Hill, our leads here are great in Belfast. There's Caitriona, Balfe, who plays Ma, and she, for me, gives the best and strongest performance of the movie. She's not the absolute lead, that's Buddy, but Ma has these moments, especially one on the bus with Jamie Dornan's character, Pa, that just floored me. I forgot to breathe sometimes. The camera just gets so close, and the way she's able to convey this emotion, heartbreak, where she's trying to hold her family together, but understands that maybe, just maybe, she can't grab onto her family. Oh, it's so beautiful. There's a lot of emotion here, and I see her getting nominated, honestly, at the Oscars. And I know I just mentioned them, but I absolutely love the duo of Judi Dench and Ciaran Hinds. Their relationship is so natural, so pure, and there are some moments that are so tiny, right, where they're maybe dancing together, and you just see Buddy smiling, and we're just understanding their relationship. It's just beautiful, and it really does showcase the best of these two legends once again. I mean, they're already writing their legacy with every film they're doing, but man, this just adds to their amazing resume. And while he's not in the film nearly as much, I do believe Jamie Dornan as Pa is good. He pops in and out of the film quite often, and at first I was a little annoyed because I'm thinking to myself, hey, he's doing a great job, can we just keep him in frame? But he's always leaving to go back to England to do some sort of work and trying to make up for his bad decisions that now, of course, his family has to pay for, literally in back taxes. But I think that that was intentional. So Kenneth Branagh made a decision there that I loved sometimes and I was selfishly hating in other moments, because Jamie Dornan proves and continues to surprise me with all that he can do. Not only can he sing and dance, but the man can act his butt off. But even outside of the acting, you guys, Belfast is just a gorgeous film. It's funny because right before the film started, I leaned over to a couple friends and I asked, hey, is this movie entirely in black and white? And they said yes, and I thought, okay. To our surprise though, it starts off in color showing present day Belfast, but then it seamlessly transitions to black and white. However, there's this hint of blue in every single frame that I thought, ooh, this is kind of pretty, and it does separate it artistically from other movies that I've seen this year. And the cinematography by Hadis Zambudlukos, who's worked with Kenneth Branagh in the past, was stunning. I mean, it was just everything, y'all. I really do think that this is probably the most beautiful film I might have seen this year so far, and it's due in large part to the cinematography and how everything is tracked, whether it be these high intensity moments with the riots or some of these more peaceful, calming moments with Buddy and his family. It just worked for me all the way through. Then there's the score and soundtrack, you guys, which complements what we're watching very well. I love the moments where the score gets into a jazzier vibe, and I just need that score, to be honest with you, just as much as I need the music by Belfast native Van Morrison, because he did a great job composing all the music and bringing together some of these amazing original songs. At least it sounded original to me, that just knocked my socks off. It just really kind of ties the movie in together, because a film can look beautiful, but if the score and the soundtrack's a little off, the bow might not look as neat once it's fully tied. But here, guys, the bow was wrapped perfectly and it looked great. But seriously, y'all, I'm gonna need Apple Music to get that music and that soundtrack up ASAP. Alrighty, so you know what, let's dive now into the negatives with Belfast, because even though I love this movie so far, there are a couple of things that didn't work as well for me. And that begins with the subplots with the civil unrest and the riots between the Catholics and the Protestants. I didn't necessarily feel like maybe that was executed as well as it could have been. I never felt the weight and the gravity of this civil unrest in Belfast. It just didn't necessarily feel as natural as other areas of the film. And even though there is this leader, this antagonist, I would say, for this group named Billy Clanton, who's played by Connor McNeil, I never felt he was as intimidating as the film was trying to tell us he was. I couldn't connect with these moments, but again, I do think that maybe those who might be from Belfast or have family that's lived throughout that time, they might be able to connect with that a little bit more on a deeper personal level, but I just couldn't really resonate with it as well, and it did feel a little different from the rest of the film in terms of the quality and the impact. And even the dialogue felt a little bit forced here, and honestly guys, maybe I just was interested in the other storylines that were unfolding at the same exact time. There's also these moments with Buddy and a local girl, might have been family member or cousin, and they are basically going off and doing mischievous things. She's trying to get him to join a gang, but none of that, again, really worked for me. I did think that there is this moment in the third act where the emotion comes to a head and you think, oh my gosh, it's getting real serious real fast, and I think that works, but otherwise, it did feel like a distraction from the main plot. And for what it's worth, you guys, this movie is probably not going to be for everyone. It doesn't have a lot of flashy moments, it's very grounded, and again, it is a coming-of-age movie. I understand a lot of general audiences don't like those films all of the time, so if you are a fan of coming-of-age movies, if you enjoy good storytelling and great acting, I think you will enjoy Belfast. But if you're not a big fan of movies like Lady Bird, for example, then you're not going to necessarily love something like Belfast. But again, I do think it is a must watch if you do want something that's heartwarming, inviting, easy to grasp, but it will leave you floored by the end. So overall, you guys, what do I think of Belfast? Well, it's one of those films that I put in the love category for 2021. And I can most definitely see this getting nominated and winning Best Picture. Not only did Kenneth Branagh deliver, in my opinion, his best movie yet, I do think that this is a film that just has it all. Great acting from our leads, amazing storytelling, a personal touch, and just technically speaking, this movie is just beautiful. And there were also a lot of little things it did well, like having our characters sing, dance together, and it's those tiny moments that I really did feel like drew me in closer to the movie. And while there are some predictable moments along the way, I don't think it necessarily held the film back, because when it comes to coming of age movies, you've seen one, you might have seen a lot of them, and I do think that Belfast does separate itself because of the acting and because of how it even is presented. So if you have to ask me, guys, I do think Belfast is a must watch in 2021. It is one of the best films I've seen this year, and I do think it's going to fall in my top 10. Now that I think about it though, my top 10 is going to be packed this year. I'm going to have so much to think about, but man, Belfast, what a treat. It met my expectations and it was everything that I wanted. So again, Belfast is an A for me. It is just a great film, and I can't wait for you all to see it. And when you do, go ahead and get loud down below in the comments and let me know what you think of the film. Do you agree with me? Do you fall in the middle, or do you think it's actually one of the worst films that you've seen this year? It better not. But I'm kidding. If it is, you can drop it down below in the comments. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on that bell, you guys, and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed reviews like this and want to see more. Again, Ghostbusters next week, Netflix's Cowboy Bebop, we got King Richard, and so much more. I don't think I have enough fingers on both my hands to count how much we got coming next week. Alrighty, y'all. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening. What? We were filming in color this whole time? Okay, we'll fix it.